I think my only undoing is you denied us the lyrical poem from Gatundu, the fat elephant and the lean goat, and the amphibian on the hot rod, ulitukatia. But I think I've also received some very good lyrics from the government. First of all, let me correct Gabriel Bwana. You are misleading Kenyans. I think you are misleading Kenyans. And allow me, don't clap, I'm not a politician, please. And allow me to explain how and why. First of all, on the sugar, Bwana, we have capacity to produce 832,000 tons of sugar per annum as a country. And this is assuming that every factory in the Republic produces at capacity. The sugar consumption per capita in the year is in the country is around 21.6 kg, translating to around 1.2 million tons in a year. In other words, in any given year, there's a deficit of around 400,000, tons of sugar that the Kenyan Republic needs. Now, are you telling me that somehow we had a deficit of 400,000 in 2024, but we did not import any sugar? And and we are not importing, but we have a deficit of 400,000 every year.
Ramogi, we are more healthy. We are not taking as much.
Bwana, don't joke. I mean, a lie is a lie. Even if you paint it white, it is still a lie. No, I'm talking about sugar. Per capita consumption is the sugar you eat. And you look like you eat some of it. Now, let me come to the answer, the question which you asked, which is, where are we as a country, and why is there a disparity between our macro and micro? First of all, some of the things that Kiprono said are accurate. Some, of course, are lyrical, like the fat elephant. And one of the things that is accurate is the monetary policy. We've actually made progress on it. Our inflation was very high when these guys came to power. And the other problem that we had was the problem of debt. President Uhuru, before Ruto came, did some accelerated growth strategy that made him to borrow excessively. And by the time these guys were coming, we are on the brink of default, because we had 2 Eurobonds that were pending, and they were all in dollars. And we had the SGR loan, which was running into $1 trillion, and it was also borrowed in dollars. And we still had our domestic borrowing, or our domestic debt, which was forming half of the debt stock. And so all evidence were to the point that we are going to default. But somehow, somewhere, these guys have managed, working in cahoots with the IMF and their fiscal consolidation program, not to push us towards that default that was imminent. So to that effect, I think Waswahili wanasema mgala muwe na haki yake umpe. But the fact that the ship was going to sink and these guys have saved us from sinking, does it therefore mean that we are safe? On the contrary, they have saved us from drowning, but they are eating us in this ship. and let me explain. One of the problems that we are having is on Mchana, they are saying there is austerity. And we agree that, yes, where we are, we cannot embark on ambitious infrastructure project at the moment. But we need to have money circulating in the economy. However, on the other hand, you see some very extravagant expenditure on the people that are in power. State House itself spends around 27 billion. Now, the CBA that we are talking about is around 33 billion per annum. In other words, if State House, where these two gentlemen come from, can reduce on their greed a little, we can actually pay the CBA without sweating. If they can, no, for real, let's just be sincere. If they can, really, how much does the State House need? It's a group of less than 1,000 people. How much do they need per annum? Do they really need 27 billion per annum? That's almost what Parliament spends, you know. If they can reduce on their greed just a little, we can pay the CBA. If then we go to Parliament and we also tell Parliament, bwana, achaneni na hizi allowances mnataka mingi, let's reduce that significantly, then we can pay the teachers, we can pay the doctors comfortably. I'm finishing. And let me finish by saying this. President Uhuru Kenyatta told us that 1/3 of government budget goes into stealing or corruption. It's what these fine gentlemen go home with when we are not watching. Now, please don't clap. Don't clap. They'll think I'm vying. I'm not vying. So the important thing is, if that money were to be used properly, I'm telling you, no parent will need to pay for education, because that gentleman is telling us that they have put laws. But law, anybody can pass law. Law is not food. Law is not the price of unga. You're telling us the price of unga now is 160. By the time Uhuru was leaving and their subsidy, it was around 170. It had come down to even 150, I think. So law is not food, Bwana Kiprono. We need food that is actually affordable, 100 shillings per kg. And then telling us stories of some shops. Some shops are selling at 100. It makes no sense. I buy unga at 170. Where I live, in Nairobi. I don't know where you buy it at 100. Maybe you go to Gatundu and buy it at 100. And the gentleman from Gatundu can tell us. No. So if we can actually do that, deal with corruption. I know it was not their promise, because they knew that corruption will be part of their administration. It's only that now the World Bank is fighting them, so they have to look like they are fighting corruption. But if we can fight corruption, we will pay all our teachers. No parent will have to sell land. People in my village are selling land to turn their children to the university. No parent will need to sell land to send their child to school. It will be free of charge. If we can actually save that money that these gentlemen are going home with when we are not watching, we can actually build hospitals and actually pay doctors and nurses. This is the last time I'm talking, so allow me just to finish. And finally, Bwana Kiprono, it is not so much about how many laws you put in place, whether it is the digital highway or the SHA. It is at the end of the day, are these people feeling it? These guys are university students and they are telling you they are not feeling your education policy. These guys are also having parents that need medical assistance, and they are telling you, no, SHA is not being felt in the villages. I am a farmer, and I am telling you that I am not filling your fertilizer. In my village, we are not getting it. I don't know, maybe in Gatundu they are getting it, but in my village, we are not getting it. Thank you.